think it's no exaggeration when I say that Nadine Strossen's advocacy for human rights and civil liberties surpasses even what the best of the best can commit to. As the first woman president of the ACLU and a lifelong activist, Nadine has done an inordinate amount of work to protect civil rights, more generally, but in particular, freedom of expression. Last year, the National Coalition Against Censorship gave her the Judy Blume Lifetime Achievement Award for defending free speech. For this, we are all grateful to you, Nadine. But today, we are here to honor Nadine Strossen as an educator, to celebrate her contributions to liberal arts education. Let me begin by listing what I think are some of the most important abilities a liberal arts education can cultivate in a person. 1, the ability to transcend your identity and self-interest such that you're able to think and act in principled and ethical ways. 2, the courage of your convictions and to stand for what you believe in, even when it's an unpopular position that you are striking. And 3, the humility to recognize that we are not finished beings, but always in the making, always in the process of becoming. Nadine most gracefully models all 3 of these cultivated capacities. Let's begin with the first one, transcending one's identity and self-interest. As the daughter of a Holocaust survivor and a Jew, her advocacy for the speech rights of neo-Nazis and fascists is beyond admirable. She has always stressed that the fight for free expression can't, and indeed should never, be a zero-sum game. And she has repeatedly said, one does not change minds by treating one's opponents with contempt, but by engaging with them. Nadine does this by truly appreciating that her opponents, those that she fundamentally disagrees with and whose speech she may despise, have as rich an internal emotional life as she does. This is no small feat. It is her deep sense of respect for our shared humanity that underpins her commitment to the freedom of speech for everyone. Gandhi's famous quote may as well have been one of Nadine's. All humanity is one undivided and indivisible family. I cannot detach myself from the wickedest soul. The second value that a liberal arts education seeks to inculcate is having the courage of your convictions. I have seldom met anyone who is as unafraid to speak her mind and defend her position, no matter how unfashionable it may be. By way of example, in the mid-1990s, conservatives and radical feminists, most unlikely bedfellows, joined forces to call for the censoring of pornography. Many radical women's rights activists, and I know, Nadine, that you take issue with that label of radical, but nonetheless, many radical women's rights activists averred that if pornography was expression, feminism was incompatible with the freedom of expression. Nadine was having none of it. She held firm that no matter how well-intended, censorship of pornography would end up impacting women's rights negatively. But she didn't just stop there. She went ahead and formed the group Feminists for Free Expression, and in 1995 published her book, Defending Pornography, Free Speech, Sex, and the Fight for Women's Rights, which made quite the splash. In the foreword to the second edition, which was released in the year 2000, the lawyer and author Wendy Kaminer wrote, I'm afraid this book will always be timely. The urge to censor seems to come as naturally to people as the diverse sexual desires censors condemn. And how right she was. Defending Pornography has just been republished this year for the third time, a most necessary intervention given the recent campaigns to suppress sexual expression in schools, public libraries, and in some cases, in bookstores. Now let's turn to the third thing a liberal arts education aims to instill: intellectual humility. Nadine is undoubtedly one of the most humble people I have ever come across. She answers emails on the speed. It's remarkable. I feel like there is nobody else I know who responds as quickly as she does. She gives herself no airs. She listens deeply and engages always constructively. Her openness to learning is exemplary. But as a historian, what I cherish the most about Nadine is her historical humility. She is acutely aware that what may seem indisputably right to us might someday be condemned by future generations as grossly wrong. This ability to place ourselves and our times in historical perspective is essential to guard against the kind of arrogance that is the death of critical thinking. Nadine, you truly are a real-life embodiment of liberal values, a lifelong learner and model educator. You are and always will be an inspiration to us. Please join me in celebrating Nadine's outstanding contributions to liberal arts education.